Hey guys, welcome to PKB. A quick video. Just want to talk about some relationship advice. We had a meeting with a young couple that we're going to be marrying. We've done how many weddings do you think?
Maybe 6 to 10, six,
Yeah,
7.
yeah, and we've been married for nearly 14 years.
Yeah, this month.
So, so we've got some relationship advice. More for this. This piece of advice is more for this pre-marriage, and this is something we discussed today with the couple that we talked to, and I guess the the topic is values, your values. So Bethany and I, we're actually really different people. Um, we like different music. What else is different?
Different food, different values on travel.
Yeah, I love to travel. Bethany hasn't done that much
You're a people
travel.
person. Well, I have now since meeting you, but I didn't grow up traveling at all. My first trip overseas was a honeymoon.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
Which I
you,
don't necessarily recommend, I have to
yeah,
say. No.
but no, you grew up traveling with your family, and I was also going somewhere with that. Yeah,
Mm.
you're energized by people. I'm more of a recharge in quiet. Yeah,
Yeah,
recharge in
yeah,
quiet. I'm a task oriented. You're
yeah. Well,
what
I
do
guess
you?
I'm more people oriented
Yeah, that's true.
sort of
So,
person.
but yeah,
So
interests are quite different as well.
yeah,
But
so I think when people are looking uh, for a life partner, they often look to common interests. Um, I don't actually think that that is the most important thing. We're like we mentioned, we're very different, but our values align. Okay, so we have very similar values when it comes to family, when it comes to church,
ministry, church,
church,
yeah,
yeah,
putting God
ministry,
first and
yeah,
everything.
putting
Yeah,
yeah God, absolutely. So we had these like these very strong common values, even though we were very different. Now, if we flip that around, and people like, oh, we like long walks on the beach together, and we both like, I don't know, we both like driving and whatever. You've got these common things. We like the same music. That's
it does
nice.
help. You need to make some connections somewhere.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's nice,
yeah,
but it's the deeper thing. The thing that undergirds a
exactly.
marriage
Yeah.
is your values. Just say one person values family, wants to have kids, and the other person really wants to grow their career and wants to travel. You actually want very different things out of life. No one's right or wrong. It's just like you don't have shared values, and over time that starts to erode a relationship.
Yeah.
And so, my advice for people that are looking for a life partner is is find someone with similar values. Now, there may be things that you don't always agree on.
Yeah,
What were you
I was
going to
gonna
say?
say keep the main thing the main thing. You have to. It doesn't matter. You might have different ways of approaching life and that sort of thing, but the main thing is aligned with each other. So
Yeah.
same priorities.
So I would say you would start with God. Your faith as a Christian, our faith would be really central to our view on life, and it's very difficult. The Bible tells us don't be unequally yoked, but to build a life with someone who has a very different perspective on what life is about. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I think also family. You know,
Your
if,
view on family, how much you value family, how much you spend time with your family.
yeah. And
What
so
focus
someone,
that takes.
yeah, someone who's very family oriented, and the other person who's just really not, can, it's not insurmountable, but it can put pressure on a relationship. Money is another one.
Money's a big one.
Yeah. So we were talking about this with a young couple. Particularly, financial stress puts a lot of stress on a relationship, and so we need to make sure we do whatever we can to be, uh, financially unstressed, so that our relationships can flourish. So finances is another one, but also like if one person really likes to spend and go out and eat and go traveling, and the other person just wants to, save and
Yeah,
build in their
invest.
career, that can put stress on a relationship. But there's got to be some overlaps. I think
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more of a spender than you. Um,
I'm a saver, but I
yeah.
don't tend to have focus with my saving. I just save.
So I'm a
whereas
bit
you
of
have more
investor.
yeah.
I'm kind of the financial planner for the family.
And I help by not spending too much.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess when we're not saying that you need to have the same perspective on all these major values, but there does need to be some overlap and possibly even some compromise. And if one person's not willing to compromise, we're going to build a business. We're not going to have kids. One person, I want to have kids. That's going to erode a relationship. So watch out for that.
I think something else that came up as well was the whole conflict resolution issue. This couple, one of them thought that he had to. I think there's a misconception first of all that fighting. I think if you're first starting out, some people think that if you're fighting, it's not going to work. Like if it's a perfect dating relationship, everything should we should agree on everything and we shouldn't have any issues, and that's not real life.
No.
So if you're having some
counselors,
some things.
Some counselors actually say it's you gotta have a fight, right? Before, because you got to work on your conflict resolution.
Exactly,
you got to have a fight. You're not ready to get married if you haven't had a fight and work through it.
So the other thing he thought was that he had to spend a long time dating so that they could work through everything that would possibly come up before they got married. And that's also not, you're never going to be able to do that. Yep. So the issue is not that issues come up and that you have disagreements, but how you deal with that. And I think that's important. And if you've got healthy conflict resolution, and that may take time to work out, but if you're willing to, you keep the main thing, you've got good communication and you can work through, you have a healthy way of dealing with disagreements and issues, because you've got two people coming from very different backgrounds and histories and families and perspectives, and you're trying to align that and work together on the same path. So.
Yeah, and it gets a little bit more complex as well. If you do come from very different cultures, but believe it or not, you may notice that we're slightly different cultures. We come from different families, so again, that's something you need to work through. But as long as the undergirding values are similar, Bethany and I mentioned on God, on family, on what we want in general out of life, ministry, and that sort of thing. You can work through that. It also it takes another level of complexity if there are previous relationships, divorces and things like that. Again, that needs to be worked through with those things really need to be worked through with a professional, a counselor, and just to prepare you for marriage. And sometimes it may not be divorce. It could be like a long-term relationship that you've had